Hello, this is Dong Yang, son of Winter. Welcome to my podcast. Today is the last episode for my Supernatural series, but I'm going to do something very different. Um, I'm not going to share any ghost story, but I'm sharing something related to supernatural event. Anyway, Happy New Year to every one of you who is listening. Um, since we are on the topic of New Year, I'm sure people will be curious to find out what are the predictions for 2022. Like, will the pandemic finally end in 2022 or something worse coming up? So I guess this is also considered supernatural, isn't it? So what I did today was to compile predictions from three famous people regarding the year 2022. One of them is very well known, who is called Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. And I also gather predictions from Anand, the child astrologer, who predicted correctly the coronavirus pandemic earlier on. And someone who already had passed on, Baba Vanga, she also prophesied what will happen in 2022. So episode 9 will be the final episode for this season in my supernatural series in Son of Winter. After this season, I will take a break before coming back with another theme in season 4 called The Road to Happiness, where I will provide some self-help tips and experiences of my own and my friends on how to be happier. Anyway, okay, that's not the focus for today. So today's session will not be so gloomy, dark, and eerie. Okay, it will be more like predictions of people who you should know, who are very well known. Okay, so I start with Bill Gates. Recently, he actually predicted the end of the pandemic. That's why he said. So I'm just uh, compiling what these people have shared regarding what will happen in 2022. I'm not very sure how accurate is him, but I guess everyone who predict may have agenda. So I'm not very sure what is his agenda. He could be manipulating the market. I don't know. Maybe by saying something like this will boost market share for Microsoft or any investment he's still doing. I'm not sure. But we all know that Bill Gates is famous for being one of the few public figures who openly warned on the dangers of the global pandemic. So previously he was saying, oh, the world was very unprepared, therefore they couldn't cope when this coronavirus emerged. But recently, in the Bill Gates newly released 2021 Year in Review, he actually gave us more positive prediction of what's going to happen in 2022. So he said that, okay, he acknowledged that 2021 has been a year of turbulence and it has been very trying for him and everyone else. So this is what he said. In 2021, the pandemic has dominated our lives since day one. We all had to adapt to a new normal, although what that looks like is different from every person. For me, the result has been a year of mostly online. He writes, my personal world has never felt smaller than it did over the past 12 months. This sounds both familiar and depressing, but if you're in the weird position of relating to these billionaire troubles, okay, there's good news coming from him. He predicted 2022 to be better than 2021. Okay, so Bill Gates, right, he actually acknowledged that he was overly optimistic about how much progress was made against the pandemic. Okay, with this one we agree because vaccination rate has been increasing. Countries in general are more prepared, are more ready, okay, for this pandemic. I think the measures that were adopted were better. There were better management of the pandemic lah. Of course, I mean 2 years already. So because of the Delta variant and challenges with vaccine update, according to him, we are not as close to end of pandemic. yeah, we are still far away. Bill Gates also admit that he don't foresee that while such a highly transmissible variant will come along, and he underestimates how tough it will be to convince people to take the vaccine and continue to use masks. Yeah, so it was kind of a shock that actually a lot of people don't want to take the vaccine. So, but he said that in 2022, right, he was hopeful that the end is finally in sight. So it might come to a close, he said, for 2022. That's what he predicted. He's not a fortune teller. He just predicting based on his experience. I don't know. But I mean, people do listen to successful people. I mean, all of you will love to listen to what these successful people say because they are successful. So they might make sense. I'm not saying they make sense. I'm just trying to compile predictions from different people. So this Omicron variant has scared the world. So what did he say about the Omicron? There's no question that the Omicron variant is concerning, but Bill Gates added that, but he's still hopeful that at some point next year, COVID-19 will just become endemic disease. So he admit that this COVID-19 will not go away. It will become like endemic, like we have to live with it. So be it if you need to wear masks for the rest of your life. So be it if we have to adopt safe distancing measures, we have to close the borders at times if need be. I don't know. Is it what it means by living a virus? Means we are always ready for a wave of new variant. So this is what he said. Communities will see occasional outbreaks, but new drugs will be available that take care of most cases, and hospital will be handle the rest well. Your individual risk level will be low enough that you will not need to factor into your decision making as much. It won't be primary when deciding whether to work from office or let your kids go to a soccer game or watch a movie in theater. So he thinks that when it becomes norm, people will not even consider it. So in the remainder of the long piece, Gates actually delve into all the new science that's helping us reduce the toll taken by the virus and other global challenges. He's quite optimistic because breakthroughs has been ongoing. But he don't shy away from the fact that mankind is still facing serious challenges. So based on what he see over the last few years, he's more worried than ever about the ability of government to get things done. He writes, adding that social media has played a huge role in spreading misinformation that makes people suspicious of their government. Even a guy as smart as Bill Gates is still searching for a solution to these complex cultural issues. But while political gridlock and insane conspiracy theories are likely to continue to trouble us, Bill Gates still close his yearly look on a positive note. He think that 2022 will be a year where many of us will just settle down into a post-pandemic new normal. That's how he's right. So what I'm trying to say, it could be that, okay, the virus will not go away, but people will just get used to it and live with it and adjust to it. Okay. The next person that I'd like to share is called Baba Vanga. She already passed on. So she is like a prophet, making prophecy. Okay, so there was some 2022 predictions she made before she passed on. She was actually, okay, let's give some background information about this lady. She was actually blind. She was a mystic. She successfully foresaw 9/11, but she also makes some crazy, insane predictions like Earth will be invaded by aliens. So, okay, some of her predictions came true, some are not. But still something that we can look at it. So she died 25 years ago. That's quite long. Very good at predicting events in the future. So this psychic grew up in a farm, which is now Macedonia, and was blind because she was sucked up into a tornado. That's when she get her second sight, according to those who follow and interpret her prediction. So it was claimed that she predicted a COVID-19 pandemic accurately, as well as the September 11 attack and the death of Princess Diana. But for some others, they do not agree. They felt that many of her viral predictions are misattributed to her and appeared to be baseless. Okay, so despite this, right, there are still many, many people who flock to hear or see what Baba has to say. So far, many of her predictions for 2021 did not come to pass, like assassination of Putin and Donald Trump became brain dead. All this didn't come true. But just before she died in 1996 at the age of 75, she actually claimed to have a series of predictions for 2022, which is this year. So let's go through what she had predicted. Okay, so number one, so she said that, in 2022, there will be an alien invasion. So she believed that humankind will make its first contact with alien. Yeah, but these extraterrestrials will not. Terrestrials will not come to peace. They will attack the earth and will bomb cities and take people captive. Far-fetched, you might think, yet bear in mind that, we do hear reports on UFO stepping into mainstream and become seriously debated in Washington now. US Congress even passed a landmark bill to set a new field investigation office to probe the alien encounters. So there will quite a number of reports of UFO. All right, and it's getting more. Okay, she also predicted there's a Siberian virus. So she said that the glaciers in Russia will finally melt and a virus that's been dormant will emerge. Oh dear, another virus. So this virus will spread and become a pandemic and kill millions this time around. What is true is that yes, these glaciers are really melting because of global warming. And it's true that in August last year, there were new viruses discovered to be 15,000 years old inside the living glaciers. So true, there were viruses there. There were also viruses found in the ice samples from ice cap in Tibet. Oh gosh. So this prediction about virus in the glacier in the ice cap could be true because there were scientific reports, valid, reliable reports on that. But how deadly can this virus be? We don't know. Okay, she also claimed that in 2022, there will be a drinking water crisis coming up. So clean water will become a highly sought after expensive resource. This could happen to people in some parts of the world, and not the entire world. Scientists in August already warned that we are facing a looming crisis regarding shortage of water, shortage of clean water actually. Global conflict, overpopulation, and climate change are just some of the factors that are devastating the water supply in many areas around the world. Already 2 billion people in the world right now do not gain access to safe drinking water. There will be severe famine. So there will be a locust invasion from Africa, leading to starvation of the population. There will also be war breakout over food. In fact, based on a recent report by United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, it warns that the number of people on the edge of famine in 43 countries have risen to 45 million as acute hunger spikes around the world. This number has risen from 42 million earlier in the year to just 27 million in 2019. So the number of people facing famine has been increasing. There will also conflict, climate change plus COVID-19, which further push up the numbers. Okay, then she claimed that, okay, there will be a locust invasion likely to be in India. Yes. So she said the temperature there will reach a high 50 degrees Celsius. locusts will then start to attack agriculture plots, causing a famine. There will be serious problem with parasites after 2022. Sounds very sad, right? But she didn't predict much on the virus of COVID-19, whether it will the situation will become better or not. Yeah, so that's what she said about 2022 lah. Nothing much about the COVID-19, but there are other worse things she mentioned. Hopefully, none of it will come true. Okay, then this boy, yes, everyone knows him, very, very, very famous. So, okay, for him, right, he's a child astrologer. Okay, Anand in India, very, very famous. A lot of people came to him. I remember he was charging as high as like about 200 to 500, I can't remember, about 200 US dollar per consultation. Yeah, so he's not charging a high fee lah because of his high popularity. So people do ask him about his prediction for COVID-19 now, whether this pandemic will be gone in 2022. But I say that it's too early to tell. He only can predict nearer like 3 months or 2 months earlier, that kind. But he did mention briefly about in his latest video. I think it's really the latest video this year, first video this year. He believed that that the second wave of epidemics were not unexpected. He emphasized again that vaccine is not a solution. So he was saying that no matter how much vaccine you all use, it's not going to help. Okay, the cases will just blow up. So currently, right, okay, people believe in him because he actually predicted the COVID-19 epidemic very, very accurately. So people started to believe in him. Yeah, but there were some predictions that he made that doesn't come true. So I have to be very honest. Not everything is true. So he was actually predicting based on the movement of the planets. Yeah, so he was saying 2021 was actually worse than 2020, which is very, very true. And he said that vaccine wouldn't help to reduce the number. And that's true. So people are still getting infected with the vaccine. And also, the way to cure this is to improve our own immune system and not to be reliant on vaccine. So, okay, currently, right, even countries like Britain and Israel, which promote mass vaccination, still have terrible wave in 2021. So Anand actually called for ancient and natural medical methods or own immune system. Just build out your own health immune system to fight against the virus. Yep. So he mentioned that, okay, the Indian situation has been very sad. Yeah, India has been suffering a lot from the pandemic. A lot of people died there because of the poor healthcare system. So people were not being well attended to. So that's why the death rate is higher. He believed that, okay, if let's say the government, scientists, and ordinary people can follow the ancient astrology and traditional medicine passed down from ancestors, it will be better. So do not rely on vaccine now. Okay. He said precisely because this lack of attention from government experts has caused huge suffering to the public and causes so much loss of life earlier in 2021. He said that while scientists and the government talk about disease prevention, their first concern is vaccination. Then he said that since last year, he already emphasized that vaccination is not a solution. Even with countries with highest vaccination rate, they are still having serious outbreak. So it proved that he's right. Okay, this is what he said. I really don't believe in the immune response to vaccine. And we don't know about the vaccines. The vaccine's effectiveness against variant virus were also questioned. So Anna explained that no matter what kind of disease you face, we should use this method called Ayurveda to strengthen the body and strengthen immunity, enhance overall strength, and call for maintaining a healthy lifestyle instead of relying on drugs. Which is true, yes, we should not rely on drugs. I mean, even a doctor will tell that to you. Everyone knows that, right? But sometimes I guess not everyone's immune system is good. And we really need to protect as many people as we can. So because whether it's against bacteria or virus, that's why I say the human's body natural immunity is most effective and is the key to elevating the pandemic. But the problem is that many people who are not healthy. Okay, anyway, he predicted this current situation will continue for a very long time. Unless people unite take action, the crisis may be resolved before the next outbreak. So from the perspective of astrology, right, Anand believed that the world will experience a worse time and people should be prepared. When was it? We do not know, but something worse will be coming out. And whether we can recover from the epidemic depends on how we, the government and scientists, treat the disease. He don't believe that this will get better in a short period of time. It will take a very long time to recover, but the economic should start to see some improvement after May 2022. That's why I say no improvement in the pandemic, but economic may improve. He emphasized that if people can be united, they do not need to wait for government and science to teach us how to act. They must take the initiative to start a healthy lifestyle and take care of themselves and others. And he also stated that most important thing is to continue to believe in God. No matter what the belief is, begin to believe in God and it will help them to overcome the difficulty. Okay, that's all for the compilation. So some positive note and some not so positive. So the prediction in general from these people is that it may not be a better year for 2022, although situation may be slightly better, but the pandemic is here to stay. It will become an endemic, but people must learn to live the virus lah. So okay, so things are changing, so we learn to adapt lah. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you and wish all of you good health. Bye bye.